Yeah, this was a really good study session. I'm glad we got together and ate all these chips.
Yeah. The cookies were super good.
Oh, yeah. They were good. I agree.
M&M's.
Yeah. Did you guys hear who Justin Bieber went out with last night?
Okay, who cares about Justin Bieber? The problem here are GMOs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, GMOs are genetically modified organisms.
Yeah, I'm learning about that in one of my classes. We're talking about how salmon are being genetically modified and engineered.
I'm actually learning that too, but I'm learning about it of bananas.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I like bananas.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah, have one.
Mine are about, I'm doing my project about cows, like the production of meat and milk, how it affects the cows and us.
You got the cookie milk right there. That's crazy.
It goes well with the bananas.
All about our life.
So, Michelle, can you, tell us more about, what you're saying in your speech?
Yeah, definitely. Well, GMOs, genetically modified organisms, are plants and animals that have been modified with DNA from, bacteria and viruses and just, not good stuff for you. And they're injected into, other animals and organisms, and the results are not necessarily always good for us.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is actually pretty crazy. And it's not something that happens in nature. We are doing this and it's unnatural. So
basically it's us as humans going into what we eat and the plants.
Right, exactly. And doing something that's not supposed to be done. This cookie's so good. I think I'm going to need some milk with it.
Yes. Cookies and milk is delicious.
Yeah, Christmas time.
Did you know that I'm doing my project about milk?
I didn't.
It's actually really interesting because farmers actually use this hormone called RBGH, and they inject it right into the pituitary gland of the cows every 2 weeks. It's actually pretty disgusting because it actually increases their milk by 25%. And it also is, it was approved by the FDA in 1994, so it's actually used in about 80% of cattle.
That's 20 years. I was born in 94.
The RBGH is actually made in a lab, so it's not natural. It's produced by, humans, not natural at all. And it also causes their insulin level to increase, which causes an increase in milk production. So using this hormone for the cows makes the meat a lot leaner, so it makes it more presentable for the public to eat, because it looks nicer and has a certain color. But actually the whole RBGH hormone actually causes the cow to become sick. Its poor little udders become all infected, and they have to inject a ton of antibiotics into it just so it could feel better. So it's kind of pumping this animal with more drugs. It's not making trying to make it better, but then it's also not.
Yeah.
And so in order for this hormone to work, they have to feed the cow a ton of protein, which they normally get from corn. But since these farmers are so trying to save $1 and not spend a lot of money, they're actually feeding them dead animal carcasses.
That is so nasty.
It's really bad. So
you're drinking milk right now.
I know. Yeah. No, I'm not drinking milk anymore.
Well, actually, it's not that bad because sometimes there are different farmers and different stores that don't have this in their store. You know what I mean?
Okay. So that's good. So
yeah, so you can look for different labels that have no RBGH and different farmers and different markets that have it. It's actually funny because the European Union doesn't actually allow the use of that hormone to be allowed.
Yeah.
Everything's better in Europe.
Yeah, Europe's the bomb.
They don't even allow the U.S. to import imported meats from the U.S. Isn't that crazy? So they're just totally
I did not know that.
So it's totally get out of here. We don't want your meat.
Well, that's how most of the other countries are. They don't like the U.S.
Yeah, but most importantly, I want you guys to realize that it's not going to hurt you as what they have seen. Scientists have tested, and so far, nothing bad has happened, but they're still doing, experiments and studies just to see if this, affects people, which I think is good to do ongoing studies, which is really well.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that because I've read some research, actually, on it while I was doing my project, and this Dr. Wald, wait, if you double check that's Wald. Walt, actually had found that there are going to be effects on, or there are effects on humans.
Really?
Yeah. And that it may at first be like minimal effects, like nothing too bad, but eventually it will become like really, really bad, like cancers and intestinal problems and like fertility issues.
That's
and
awful.
Yeah, it is bad, and it's just because we're modifying these foods and making them something that they originally are not. And so it's funny that you say that it doesn't cause problems, because from my research I've found that it does. So.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what other animals are affected by this.
Yeah, I don't quite know. My research didn't go that far. What do you guys?
In my class, we're talking about salmon, so that's another animal that's been affected by genetic mutation and stuff. They're engineering them, and they're putting this protein in them so that they get bigger faster.
Huh.
And so instead of reaching full growth at 3 years, they're reaching it at 18 months. So that's like a big difference.
That's
and
super
that's
fast.
really good for people who eat salmon, because then we can breed them faster, and their generation time, like from adolescence to maturity will be a lot faster, so we have more meat to eat. But what's really bad about it is because they're genetically engineered, like mule and ligers and stuff, the hormone is going to become a part of their like population. It's going to just like start being a regular thing with them. And so,
Like a mutation?
yeah, like a mutation. And so if they get out into the wild and like successfully breed with other fish, then like other fish are going to start reaching full maturity this much faster, and like our oceans aren't going to be able to like.
Okay, so
care
that
all
would
that.
be bad then.
This is a problem.
Really
Yeah,
bad.
that does sound like a problem.
But what's really good about
Overpopulation.
it is, especially for the landlocked ones, like there's one in Illinois that's a salmon hatchery. They're not going to get out into any waters and breed with any other fish, and they make a human blood clotting gene. Like the fish produces it, and we can get the medicine from them, and it helps people who have hemophilia or people who have like lung cancer or tumors and stuff.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's good.
And so the medicine's going to keep it from, like, it'll make the medicine cheaper, because if we have so much more fish producing this stuff.
So there's positives and
And
negatives.
negatives,
to it.
yeah.
Positives and negatives to it, yeah. The bill just got passed last year for the FDA approval for it.
It's great.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is
Actually,
good.
the first ever genetically engineered organism to be approved was those neon fish you can buy in the pet store, the ones that glow in the dark.
Those are cool.
Yeah, those are
Injected
cool.
with jellyfish.
Sorry.
So it's pretty cool. I'm really hungry today. I don't know what's up.
Actually, before you eat the banana, did you know that bananas didn't used to look that way?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have a picture of what they did used to look like. Do you want to see?
Wait, I want to take a look.
Let me see.
Come on. Oh, wow, that doesn't look delicious
really
at all.
gross.
It looks disgusting.
It does. It does. Actually, they used to look like this, and what those little dots are, they're seeds. If you look at bananas now, it looks like they don't have seeds, but those little black dots, those are seeds. That's because they are genetically modified. And the reason they did that is so they can actually be edible. And back in the day, there was a farmer who had trees that were or brown bananas and green bananas. They're called plantain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
plantain. Okay.
Yeah, I heard of that before.
And actually, those you have to cook them so you can eat it. And
Huh.
then one day he actually found a tree that was producing yellow bananas. And, curiosity, he went and he grabbed the banana and he started eating it, and he noticed that it had a sweet taste to it. And, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
bananas are nice.
So he realized that he didn't have to cook it. So after that, he started planting more and more of those bananas. But then they realized that not a lot of people were buying it just because of the seeds, and it doesn't look as good as they do now. So they started modifying them to look the way they do now.
Yeah.
And actually, the bananas back in the day, they were able to fight off pests, and now since they're genetically modified, they're kind of weaker, and they can't fight off pests.
Weak banana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're still delicious.
Still good with
They're still good
Nutella.
to eat them?
They're still good to eat them. The only bad thing about, not really the banana, but the people who take care of the bananas, is that they have to be sprayed with very harsh chemicals about 40 times.
40?
Yeah, about 40 times.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And they actually, the farmers can get leukemia. And,
Oh gosh.
Yeah, because because of the chemicals that are being used to fight off the parasites. And actually, these bananas they cost a little bit more to produce than they actually sell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Supply
they
and
produce
demand.
a lot of bananas, and a lot of bananas are not produced here in the United States. They're produced more in South America. So it's actually, if you look at it, it takes a lot of you have to pay a lot. Yeah, you have to pay a lot of money to ship them over here. So it's kind of hurting the environment in the way, because you have to have ships frozen, or ships that have freezers to have bananas in there back and forth.
Right.
From South America to here. But if you look at it, before, bananas didn't used to look that way. So would you eat a banana if
it looked like that?
looked like
No.
that?
That looks pretty
Probably
gross.
not.
No.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how all these foods that we eat,
All the time.
like, this isn't even like real food, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the banana and milk and
It's
most
not real
things.
anymore.
This is like X-Men superhero mutation stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how things that we thought were so natural and came from the ground actually developed into something else because of us.
Yeah.
Not
And
even
they
naturally.
still taste good though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even like, let's say organic bananas, like you buy organic bananas, they're really not organic
Mhm.
if you look at it, because they're still mutated,
Oh.
still genetically modified. So
So what's the point of going organic?
Well, thanks, guys. This actually really helps with my speech. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, I'm glad I
No
could help.
problem.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. There's your Christmas present.
Thanks. I always wanted help on speech.
Well, we actually have some videos that we think would really help you.
Really? Okay, we totally need to check those out.
Yeah, right now.
Consumer Reports, a majority of packaged goods that are labeled natural are actually contain genetically modified ingredients, which makes it unclear, as to whether they are natural or not, because they grow, but they've been modified in a laboratory or whatever. Apparently, the FDA will allow companies to put the word natural on a product label as long as it says JKLOL on the back of the product. But critics of genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, claim that they pose health risks. It's a complicated issue, though, because there isn't a lot of evidence to back that up. Still, some people are dead set against them. There's been legislation designed to limit GMOs. You see documentaries and angry Facebook posts about it. How many of you do not want GMOs in your body? Yes? Okay, a lot of people. All right. So, as I usually do when people take a stance on a complicated issue, I wondered how many people who are against GMOs really know what they are. So we sent a crew to one of our local farmers markets to ask people why they avoid GMOs, and more specifically, what the letters GMO stand for. Enjoy.
Do you try to avoid GMOs in your diet?
I do. Yeah.
Tell me why.
There's just a vibration with GMOs. For me personally, just something that I don't particularly want to put into my body.
What does GMO stand for?
Genetically modified. Genetically modified.
The
The.
O.
I don't know.
You try to avoid GMOs in your diet?
Absolutely,
Why?
because they're not good for you.
What is a GMO?
It's genetically I don't know, what is it?
If you are eating whole foods, you want to eat what you're eating. You know what I mean? You want to eat what you see, and you're avoiding processed food. But when the whole food is somehow contaminated, that's kind of making it a moot point.
What does GMO stand for?
Genetically manufactured. Oh.
What's a GMO?
I don't know, so I really don't care. It doesn't affect me. I'm not sick. I'm fine. So.
What is a GMO?
It's a genetically modified organism.
And what's GMO spelled backwards?
OMG.